Hello, hello, Mystic GLoLady here. It has been too long since I have done any divination readings. It's been a year and a half that I have taken a hiatus in order to finish my civil rights lawsuit that's now in the Supreme Court, and I've also started going back and seeking higher education. So I've been up to a whole lot of things, and I hope that you have been creating as well. My Patreon GLoLady site is up and almost ready to run. I have my inspirational wallet size photos for download, and also my healthy hippie hemp oil blends and other essential oil blends, as well as tools of the trade. There's lots of different support levels, so I hope to see you on my site, GLoLady, on Patreon. I'll put a link below. And now, on to your readings. Hello, Cancer. This is your divination reading for June 2017. And as we started out at the beginning of the month, you don't have any planets that are shining down upon you, and they won't start until the 5th. The 5th, the 22nd, and the 22nd, you have two planets coming in there. So at the beginning of the month, there's nothing really pressing down upon you. Let's see, what are we going to be doing with ourselves? Now there again, we do have Venus and also Uranus that is squaring you. You as in Cancer, your home, or I'm sorry, yourself in the first house. So Venus loving you at the beginning of the month. Make sure that you love you at the beginning of the month. And if you have any inspirational, unusual, it's like, what do you want? You want to try a new haircut? Why not? Be good to you at the beginning of the month. Get that haircut. Is it a style that you've wanted but you've never gotten because everybody else thinks that it wouldn't look good on you? Is that true? Or are they just giving you jealousy? So go and find a hair salon and ask them. I'm sure that they would have some type of way to put some hair on you. And hopefully someone has that app or will come up with that app so you can try on all those different hairstyles that you've wanted to try. Okay, app that'll take your face and put someone's hair over top of it, a different hairstyle, and see how do I like that. So that's going to be something that you can do the beginning of the month. Search that out and see if there is one out there, and try out that new hairdo on you. It just might bring a little bit of spice into your relationships that you need. Now, in the second house, your finances and possessions, you have Leo, and there really isn't any planetary beating down on top of that, although on the 7th, you have your Venus that I just talked about in your first house, you have it square your second house. So finances and possessions. I'm not talking about going out and investing millions of dollars in that app I just got done talking about. Okay, I'm not talking about going out and blowing $500 on a brand new hairdo. I'm not talking about spending more. I should not say 500 because one person's a dollar is another person's 100. So maybe 500 is a normal for your haircuts, and maybe 1500 would be abnormal. So be good to you, but don't be blowing your finances. And don't do it just for bragging rights that you just had this whole new makeover and it cost you X amount. Do it to make you feel good and not to brag about it. In the third house, you have Virgo in there, communications, communications going, going as well as usual. Nothing really out of the ordinary with that. Um, but saying that, don't do what, do not, do not do what you're not supposed to do. Okay? Do what you know you're supposed to do, and all will be well and good. Now you have Jupiter going through your home, and Jupiter starts out retrograde. So what's been going on in your home? What have you had to redo in order to get some balance in your home? Jupiter going direct on the 10th will lessen that load. Okay, so the load that you have been carrying, okay, it does lighten up. All right, and towards the end of the month, there's going to be some planets that are going to be squaring because Mercury is going to be going through there. Okay, Mercury is going to be going through there at the end of the month, and it's going to be squaring Jupiter. And you have the sun coming up. I mean, the sun, it's in your house on the 22nd. So the sun shining down upon you, but it's like, just take care of you and don't overdo it, taking on too much of others. And there will come a discussion at the end of the month in your relationships, the Pluto transformative in your relationships, communications. Communications is important in your relationships. If you are carrying a heavy load, communicate, and that load will be lightened. Do not blame. Remember what happens with that threefold, finger pointed out, threefolded back in judgment. Be careful of that. But in your home, find that balance. You need to have that balance in your home. In your 5th house, go out and have some fun. You don't need to tell anybody else about it. You like to have fun and not tell everyone else about it. But there again, if it's going out and having too much fun and it's contradicting relationships, well, then if you have to go out to have fun, maybe that's what's telling you you need to change relationships. All right. Is this relationship getting you out and about? Or is this relationship suppressing you and keeping you inside? So that's one to consider. Now, on the 9th, we have a full moon in Sagittarius in your 6th house, as well as you have Saturn there. Health, work, service, daily routine. It's like, what have you been doing? What have you not been doing, with health? Okay, have you been taking care of yourself? Have you not learned the lesson that you cannot eat a certain kind of food because it has an adverse reaction upon your body? Okay, the 9th is a great time to get rid of those addictions. Whether, whatever the substance is that you need to put into you in order to make you feel good. What is it outside of you that makes you feel good that is detrimental to your health? It's time to get rid of it. Okay? The 9th is a great time, as I said, to do that. Now, in your 7th house, I'm sorry I did not write Pluto on your chart. I just noticed that, and excuse me for that error. It was not on purpose, trust me, because as I said, with that Pluto, that's going to be squaring Mars at the end of the month, there's going to be some pressure on yourself versus your relationships. Okay, so, keep an eye out the end of the month. What kind of new transformative measures do you need to communicate in order to make that relationship flow smoother, more balance at home? Okay. Other people's money, Aquarius in your eighth house. Um, you tend to see other people as your support more so than other people's money. You value your friends. Your friends give you other than a financial boost. They give you an emotional, mental, or physical. And do not deny someone their random act of kindness because of your pride. So if people are offering you assistance, say thank you and allow them that good feeling that they get because they honestly want to help you out. In the ninth house of long distance travel, higher learning, you have Neptune there. And Neptune starts out the month at 14 degrees and goes retrograde on the 16th. Now, that does have a tendency to get a little mental, emotional, more mental, but mental, I say, mental, emotional balance upon each other, or off each other. So going retrograde, watch your ideas. You can't really afford. Okay, you can't really afford to look negatively at this point in time. Now, if you are looking for ways and education for that healing, those lessons, with Chiron there at 28 degrees, well, maybe that's what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you are going to be looking at those things that have ailed you for so long and finally peel the scab off and allow it to heal. Okay? So beware of that because you have Saturn, and even though Saturn's in retrograde, going away from that conjunction, loosening up that pain, that does not mean that Chiron is not going to go direct at a period of time and come back over that scar again. So or shall I say, that scab again, unless you healed it and it became possibly a scar. If you let something fester for far too long, and this has Mars squaring, what kind of work do you need to do in order to heal? That's going to be a very important thing because, okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's all right also. As we started out, we have the sun shining in the 12th house. The 12th house is your secrets institution, jail, hidden enemies. The sun shining right there, and it's going to be square. So it's going to be square that Neptune, and then it's going to be passing through on the 22nd, squaring, it'll be squaring Chiron before the 22nd. But it's like, what do you need? You've been keeping things in. You've been keeping these secrets in, and that sun is going to be shining down upon those secrets. Okay? You have Mercury that's going to be coming up into your 12th house on the 7th. You have the new moon on the 23rd. Mars starts out there at 27 degrees. So Mars square Chiron, what do you need to work upon on those secrets that you have kept in so long. So when that new moon comes on the 23rd, make sure that scab is not only cleaned off, because a lot of times that scab has been scraped off, but it has never been cleaned out. It has never been totally cleaned out. So all of that goop that's been in there just festered. So that festering is still there, and how deep is that hole that festering has caused? Because you have not cleared off that scab, cleaned out that wound, and allowed it to heal properly. And it is interesting how when we clean out wounds and allow the air sometimes has a very good effect at cleaning it. Now, yes, environment does have a big part of it, and you have to be careful where you go when you do clean out those wounds, mentally, physically, spiritually. You know, where are you putting yourself? What are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding good food? Are you feeding junk food? And the same goes with your head. What kind of food are you putting in? Are you putting in knowledge in order to heal? Or are you putting in junk that other people throw? Other people throw as we waste. You know, we eat at a fast food restaurant, and how much of the food is left over that we just throw it away? We've become that expendable, disposable society. So heal those wounds, you know, air them out there so it heals, so that when it's coming back around, you're not going to be taken back again. Now, as I was talking about earlier, with the seventh house and Pluto being there, in your 10th house, your career house, you have Venus starting out in your career at 24 degrees, and you have Aries in your 10th house. You have Venus starting out, and Venus is going to be conjunct Uranus. Are you having inspirational ideas, unique ideas, in order to better your career, in order to do something that you like to do, in order to earn more money? Those ideas that hit you at the beginning of the month, write them down. If you do not have time to concentrate on them at the beginning of the month, when they're coming to you, write them down. Okay, because they will play a big role coming up. On the 7th, Venus is going to be moving into the 11th house. And we're going to talk about your friends and associates, your hopes and wishes. You have Mercury in there starting out at 19 degrees. Okay, communicating with your friends. Your friends are the wind beneath your wings. You do need your friends that are there to help you, that are there to encourage you. If you do not have friends that help you, that encourage you, then they are not your friends. Then they are just acquaintances who come and profit over what you have to give them. It has to be an even exchange with friendship. Sometimes one has and the other doesn't, but then it flips around. Then the other one has and the other one doesn't. So if we learn to share and communicate, you know, share your experience, strength, and hope, and things will go well. And as I had already talked about, your 12th house and those hidden enemies, luckily you have people who have been good to you, and those who haven't been, maybe that's what you need to look at, and could possibly be where that healing is needed. So be well, Cancer, in June. Keep that head up and look on for new things that will be coming down your way. See you. Love you. Bye.